Yes, I do believe that African American vernacular has a connection to slavery because African American vernacular does not get particularized without slavery as an experience, i.e., slaves and their broken English becomes a rule-based way of constructing themselves because the way in which slavery has orchestrated African Americans has germained them to a rhetorical experience that is outside of the traditional canon of English. Translation: because they weren't seen as people who spoke English, they have a special English, i.e. Ebony Phonics.
One time I was in church, and this was in Indiana, and we were out of town. We weren't out of town. It was still Indiana, but it was a different part. And I was talking to one of the church members, and she said, "Girl, like, you talking wrong." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'm sorry. I guess I need to talk different." But she made me feel bad. She pointed that out when we got around certain people because she talks the same way I do. And when we were back home in Indiana, everything was good. But when we got to I don't know where we were at, Jacksonville. We were in Jacksonville, Indiana, and when we were around those people, they talk differently. Like, they talked how the Marylanders talked, and she was just like, "Brittany, when you're around certain people, you need to change how you talk." So I didn't feel that way, but I did.
I think that incorrect or correct ways to speak are always dictated by the public you exist in. And so, for example, if there are a public that fashions one's ability to just communicate and express oneself, proper or improper does not make sense, right? Proper meaning, yes, you speak like this when I'm speaking to you like this, and when I choose not to speak to you like such, which is proper, then I have not only the space to correct you, but then reorder your words and or your space in that space. I can predetermine how much power you have by the language you use.
I just talk to get personal with people. Like, if I see that someone talks with a lot of slang, I'm gonna talk with a lot of slang. If you're speaking proper, I'm gonna speak proper. Kind of know how to do both. I am proud that I know how to, because they say when you're in Rome, you do what the Romans do. So I can do both, and I like it.
Yes, I do believe that African American vernacular has a relationship to code switching because just like the historical ties to slavery, it's a question of when is certain language appropriate. And Ebony Phonics does not attempt to make proper Black English or African American English, but instead give it a place amongst different types of English, like slang or local colloquials.
That's why I put trilingual on my last job application. I can help to diversify your consumer market is all I wanted them to know. When they call me for the interview, I'll be more than happy to show that I can say what's good, what's agwan, and of course, hello.
I do feel like it's a form of politeness because when I'm talking to, say, an older Caucasian lady, I would speak to her like, no, I'm just, being honest. I would speak to her like, "Hello, my name's Brittany, may I help you?" And then, we'd get along, we'd have our conversation, talk about her grandkids. It's always grandkids. But when I'm speaking to an older African American lady, I say, "Hey girl, how you doing?" Because I just like to feel people out, get to know them. We're gonna talk how we're gonna talk. That's just it.
This distinction is one in which African Americans have to strategically utilize their Black vernacular to code switch, meaning to exist in different publics to communicate. So, for example, African Americans in a predominantly African American setting that's not bound by traditional public constrictions would require one to speak Black English to fit in and or to translate.
I feel like it's different parts of me. I feel like I talk how I talk when I'm around my cousins because that's my cousins. and we've been growing up talking the way we was talking. You should.
Maybe too much.
I'm just asking.
Do we talk different?
Yeah. Like, okay, when you were at your interview today, did you feel like you had to talk different?
Actually, I do, but I feel so comfortable. Like, I think it's depending on, like, you know, how
Like the
the
people?
environment you're in.
Yeah.
And also, if you have to certain people, you take the voice. Like, if somebody's supposed to and, you know, have themselves together, you know what I'm saying? I feel like you change your voice to like, I got my shit together too, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's either the environment or, I think, the appearance of another person.
But black vernacular, for example, with affect attached to how words get presented, would seek to at least reaffirm what damn could mean. For example, you could be damned, or damn as a site of expression in terms of an exaggeration, like, damn, that happened to you, or damn, son, that's kind of fucked up. Those damns do not mean the same thing, even though they were exaggerated in very similar fashions.
Damn! Boy, damn! Smokey, what the hell you doing back in... Damn! Damn!
The distinction is very small, yes, but the distinction is key because it's contextual. That distinction is only picked up with the rest of the sentence. So, for example, a lot of traditional phonics doesn't allow us to provide context without having all of the words present, but all of the words present does not give the context alone. Whereas in Black English, you can have one word present, and depending on how you said that word, it will give all credence to context.
How you gonna put the word hello in the Ebonics dictionary? You know how many ways we got to say hello? It'll take up 5-6 pages. Yeah. Hey, now! What up? Hey, look at you!
Ebony phonics or Black English is something that not only exists but is well rooted in rules and replication models.
I always slip up when I'm talking. I remember one time I was in an interview and we were talking to we were talking to these ladies, and I just start talking like my normal self, and I was like, "Oh, Britt, gosh, you gotta get back to talking how they talk."
I have decided to treat all three of my languages as equal because I'm articulate.